Welcome to the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast, created, produced, and hosted by Heidi Hubner, with engineering and production by Timothy Stone Dancer Coleman. This show was created to celebrate good wine, amazing pets, and people from around the world who are doing great things in their local communities. Welcome, everybody, to Season 2 of the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast. I am Timothy Stone Dancer Coleman, producer, co-host, and engineer for the show. And it is my great pleasure to introduce you to Heidi Hubner, our creator, host, and producer of the show. Here's Heidi. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, listen, you know how we do.
Right?
We take it day by day, but all is well. All is well.
All is well. East Coast, West Coast in the house. I love it.
Exactly. And I mean, today they're getting a trifecta. We've got New York, we've got Cali, and we've got Atlanta.
I know. I'm so excited for our guest, Gillian Bell. I can't wait to delve into that in just a couple of moments. You guys are going to love her and just be in awe of everything that she does. But so, Tim, what's new on your plate?
I'm really happy to say things are settling into almost into like the perfect groove, right? I know that, we are always where we're supposed to be, and it all happens in the energy time that it is supposed to happen. And I am closer than ever to seeing the fruition of the homework.
So I think that this last year, you guys have gotten to know my brother. And so,
Yep.
A lot on his plate is still more than most people have on their plate. But I'm glad to hear that number's gone down a little bit.
It definitely has.
50 projects instead of 65. But
Yeah, listen, I'm getting at them as quickly as I can.
And on that note, it's kind of segues into, we talk about if we're patient and like the universe, whatever higher power you believe in, you are always guided. And
Yes.
man, if I'm here to witness just a couple of things where I really just turned it over and I was like, that was the easy button. Hello, instead of pushing and this and that. And it was like, oh, wow. I'm calm because these things that I wanted to happen that weren't happening as quickly as I wanted them to are now falling into place.
That's exactly right.
I feel like this is a good segue to
Yes.
introduce
Yes.
our guest because, man, if she doesn't speak and do all of this, woo.
Oh, yes.
Take it away,
she
Tim.
does. All right. So this episode will focus on Gillian's work in wellness throughout New York City and beyond. Her curriculum, The Tree of Life, has been implemented in schools, colleges, community centers, as well as online. Gillian recently purchased land to build a retreat center called Aramenta. Aramenta is also, for those of you history buffs out there, it's also Harriet Tubman's real name. It will house buildings for retreats, for people to do their yoga practice, for so much more.
To create a space and an environment that they can clear that energy out of their head and feel and go inside themselves and connect. That's why we want them to put the hand on the heart. And some will say, I don't feel my heartbeat, Miss Yoga. It's like, it's there. You're not quiet enough.
Gillian, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Tim. You're always so I'm like, who's he talking about? That's me. When you can celebrate yourself that way sometimes because you're so in it.
So this is the wine I just wanted to share before we delve into the interview with you. I've been on this French rosé kick.
Yum.
And this is one, Rue de Pearl. You can get this anywhere, any grocery store, but it's just there's something about the French rosés. It's just light and crisp and clean. I don't know what wine is your fave. I know Tim likes the reds, but
dry wine.
I'll
take a white, a rosé, even rosé. I just don't like sweet or fruity. I know the crisp, clean, dry wine, whether it's red, rosés are my fave. I really love them.
Okay, you have to try this because it's dry. I don't like sweet wines either. Yeah. I mean, I think this is like $8 or $9 at the store.
Wow.
At the grocery store. But anyway, we'll post a better picture of that. But oh my gosh.
As a child, what were you, Gillian, the most interested in? And you know, talk about that dynamic growing up.
You know, I was always a dreamer. I was a daydreamer. I was the one that sat near the window just so I can look out the window. You know, I didn't, and I was also very sensitive. You know, I was really a crybaby. And you know, I was born in 1963. So there was a lot of pain and joy in that era. And being a child, like watching adults go through the civil rights movement and so many things, it it um it just was a part of my creative journey. It sparked me, even in health, just being revolutionary and having a grandmother who had a garden, and I was lucky enough to like be able to play in her garden and know what that was like. You know, I realized how blessed that is for me, because I'm like, oh my God, we're having a revolution for food. And just me remembering that is a revolutionary act. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of emotion as a child just coming up in that time, you know. And I think, you know, and then finding out what I wanted to do later, it came. I was just always in the right place. I went to college for dance and theater, and my father was like, really, dance and theater? And he let me do that because he didn't go to college. So he was like, at least she's going to college, you know. But then I didn't do that any longer. But it got me and afforded me a modeling job because someone saw me in a college newspaper. And then I got into fashion. So nothing was ever like, this is actually what I want to do. It was always like the garden, right? Like the soil, like even like the tree of life curriculum, the living curriculum is like, what's in the soil, what sticks, what's the trunk of support that branches you out into things that you can recognize that your talents prepare you for as you're like cultivating yourself, you know? And I think some of us might have that. And I that was my relationship with, you know, finding out what I want to do.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Watch season 1 of I Love Wine and Dogs on Spotify.
Wherever you live, go to your local shelter or work with your local rescue group to bring in your new forever loving baby if you're ready. Remember, you got to make sure you're ready for this commitment, but you can foster, you can volunteer. There are so many other ways that you can give back and help your fellow community in the pet world.
Like, share, and subscribe on Facebook and Instagram at I Love Wine and Dogs.
Welcome back to the show.
So Gillian, would you say I love that story about being in the garden, and like, yes, how fortunate you were able to do that, because many children have never experienced that. So would you say your grandmother was a big influence or a role model for you without even knowing it?
Yes. Yes. Well, you know, I knew it. Like I knew who she was in my life because she was everything. You know, I was fortunate enough to be able to go upstairs into her world. I lived right downstairs. My mother and father lived right downstairs. So for me, I got up if I wasn't already upstairs, and I was in her world. I was just in her world.
So you were dancing and you were modeling. And then where did you go from that?
Dancing and modeling. And when I modeled, I stayed in fashion houses. Like I didn't move around like a lot of models. I never went to Europe. I stayed in the States. And I stayed on 7th Avenue. I worked with designers like Anne Klein and Charles Nolan and Ellen Tracy.
So I'm going to jump because I
know it's rich.
Your book.
Okay.
Because you're talking about this, and I need to bring this up now. I love this book, and I'm going to read something in the foreword that I'm actually going to type up, and it's going to be one of I have a little area where I have things that speak to me. And so this book I'm going to say this is a book for everybody. So in the foreword, it says, Are You Aware helps young children recognize and appreciate these simple joys. Are You Aware is the start of a continuing conversation with our children or adults, I'm adding that in there, about the love of life and respecting the world around them. We are all in the soil. We all need to do this, and it starts with the children. It is a message of hope for our complicated world. Are You Aware can open new avenues of curiosity about how we each can keep our world clean, safe, and joyful for everyone. It's a catalyst for exploration and participation in protecting an environment loaned to us, and they will pass this on to generations. That what I just read.
Thank you, ma'am.
Every school should have this book. Every library should have this book. So I'm putting this out there. Anybody, all of our listeners, people watching the show, and to the universe and our higher beings. So
That's right.
That was me, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you for writing this beautiful book.
Thank you so much. That book came to me. It was the easiest moment. It was me speaking to the inner child that used to look out the window. That's what that book is. It's just that. And I say this to my teachers, and it's like, the best thing you can do as when you share practice is to assess what you need in the moment. Because if you assess what you need in the moment and really share that vulnerability and do that practice, because you have the tools, you know everything, you're going to realize that people in that room needed that, and they didn't know it and you didn't know it. But what you did was you were able to share in an experience that was going to elevate you without having to think you had to come up with something different. So when I thought about Aramenta was like, what happens to the wellness people who do all this work? What happens to the civil rights people who did all that work? When you look at Frederick Douglass, it was a lifetime legacy of an abolitionist. Harriet Tubman, lifetime, Sojourner Truth, lifetime legacies. The Grimsky sisters, I don't know if you know them, but you should know who they are. They were two white women who were the terrible father who did not want to educate them. I know I'm coming off topic, but I just want to tell their story because I love them too. And the brothers educated them, their brothers. And their father, when they died, the brothers shared the wealth. And those women married and they had grandchildren. And their great-granddaughter was one of the women who helped the Harlem Renaissance. She was, and her story, like these stories, like this is how we got here. I always say to people, do you know what it took to get here? So that's Aramenta, like what it took to get here. To remember these people who did all this work. And then I remember myself, right? Then I can honor me. And then I'm really honest about wellness, right? Because I'm like, you do this, you create this, like, what do I need? Because I know if I need this, God, Heidi, you'd be like, Gillian, this is great. I know. I'm like, right, Heidi? Yeah, this is great. I was like, yeah, then it's an exchange.
It is going to happen. And we're going to have to take a quick break for a public service announcement. So stay tuned and we'll be right back with Gillian Bell.
We'll be right back after these messages.
There are only a select few relationships that can ever come close to that of grandmother and her grandchildren. Such is the case with Journey and her grandmother. Journey and her granny love each other dearly. Journey looks up to her grandmother in every aspect of her life, a love reciprocated with her grandmother's every action. If it is something as little as a new crayon box, Granny always is excited for her little Journey, as she means the world to her. This book is about such relationships, pure and delicate as one that's with Journey. Grab your copies today to find out about the sweet and genuine love between a granddaughter and her grandmother in Gillian Bell's new book, Are You Aware?
Welcome back to the show. What's up, creative family? Welcome back to the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast. Heidi and I are with our guest, Miss Gillian Bell. CEO and founder of Urban Yoga Foundation and the CEO, founder, and creator of Aramenta. Heidi, take it away.
So I was looking at your website and your programs.
Thank you.
And just to mention some of them, there's a senior program, there's family, teens, kids, nutrition, special needs, healing arts. And I think when I was devouring the website, I was looking at some of the videos and I was like, again, this is so great. You know, COVID was a blessing to where we can do things like this, right? We can meet and share and take classes and learn about things in real time. And then also have recorded, sessions to view at another time. When I'm looking on your website and there's a picture and it's kids in class and it's two young girls doing like a tree pose together and they're laughing and the joy. And it was just a picture taken, in the moment. And I'm like, man, that speaks volumes because yoga is for everybody and you have created programs for everybody. And I love you for doing that.
Heidi, that comes up a lot for me, because here we go again. We're conditioned to say, even on branding, focus on one demographic. Focus on one. That's it. What is it? Is it older Black women? Is it this? Is it that? Just focus on one. And the irony is that I kind of just wanted to hang out with kids. I was really loving my first real thing was teaching my daughter, then her friends, then her school. So the kids thing was in there early. I get to play. To your point of that photo. Yes, you see that? We're just trying to balance on one foot, having a ball with each other, not even knowing that we're doing yoga. We're just trying to make a tree balance, right? You realize it's not what people think it is. This is a lifestyle of joy and movement and breath, but you have to deal with the adults. And that's when I got back into the adults. Because I'm realizing these kids, I'm having them share this stuff with their family. They're telling me they're sharing with their family. I got to deal with the adults because the adults are with the children and they can all keep each other accountable. Then it brought me back to how I saw my grandmother, what I would have loved to have shared with her, right? So then you have all these moments, these touch points, and you realize it's infant to elder. That's what it is. It's this broad awareness of this is our life.
That was one of the cool things I think that you also brought into the different elementary schools in all the different underserved communities around New York is that it wasn't just the fun of finding the pose and, those small realizations as you see it go across the kids' faces. You also made them change the snacks that they were giving the kids. Right? And you're like, what is this? I can't do, a class with the kids. And then they come out here and all they've got is like all of this liquid sugar and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was multiple touch points, I think is where I would say small, doable, easily maintainable touch points that equate to wellness.
Yes. Thank you, Sid, for saying that as well, because that was why I was also making the decision to get to the adults, because the adults are in charge of the food. The adults are in charge of the process. So I had to get them. How do you get the buy-in? You get the buy-in by including everybody. And then everybody's a part of it. But then you're cultivating community, because that's what we're talking about now, right?
That's
so
right.
That's wellness. And when you realize that's wellness, then you realize, so wellness is multifaceted as well. It's all about how does everybody buy into this?
Yep.
And I think right now, and I'll say this because I want to really deal with the elephant in the room of what we're really having happen to us when it comes to food and medicine right now in this world. I think that's why we're having this conversation, so that we can reclaim our sovereignty in knowing how to take care of ourselves, that we cannot just deliver ourselves to people and say, fix me, but we can really have a relationship with our health, with our food, and with the people we surround ourselves with.
People receive things in different ways. We all learn differently and we all take something different from the same conversation. And I feel like you've given our audience multiple different things that they might be able to try. If they latch on to just one thing, that's still a step in the right direction. You don't have to latch on to every single thing and overwhelm yourself.
And I say the old 75% of the time, just make sure you're doing it right. Have your little 25%. I think we can't do 50-50 anymore because they've tainted the food.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we had clean air, clean water, like we have to watch everything. Because we have to watch everything, that means we have to do a little bit more. You don't have to give
That's
up
right.
everything, right? But you have
That's
to make
right.
sure most of the time you doing the right thing. And it's really not the American breakfast. Give it up.
Yeah.
You have to give it up. You don't keep your fast going until like the early part of the afternoon. Do your 11 o'clock. Try to do it. If you need anything, have some fruit. Have a smoothie.
I love that you said that. And because I get to work 6:45, 7 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I would then eat my breakfast, whatever it was, if I made an egg or had yogurt and berries at like 7:30. And I'm like, I'm not hungry.
Right.
But you're supposed to eat breakfast.
No.
You're supposed to start the day and eat your breakfast. And it was like, certainly not going to eat it getting up at 5 in the morning. And so I'm going to say this last 8 months, I was talking Vanessa, who was on our show, and she's like, why are you eating if you're not hungry? And I'm like, well, because we're supposed to. She's like, no, you're not. So I eat when I'm hungry now. So I have my coffee or my mushroom coffee. And if I'm hungry at 10 or 10:30 or 11, then I normally just eat lunch because I'm like, I don't need breakfast. So I'll eat. And it's amazing. It's like, why? Hello.
But this is the conditioning. So understand. And this is why, and I'm sorry to bring up that brand again, but this is the conditioning, right? So the conditioning is, how do we condition them? That's more food, more snacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you're ready to fall on your face. And then what do? That's your coffee break. And now I got you having more snacks. So this is the deal. And this is what I got from my grandmother as well. She woke up, the first thing that she had was hot water and lemon. While you're not hungry, your body's still digesting from the night before. And you get ready to do what? Put stuff on top of it. Eggs, bread, stuff. And the body is like, oh my gosh, okay. As I'm still trying to figure out what I'm finishing up from yesterday, thank you. So hot water and lemon, and then your little other things. But why I would say hot water and lemon first is because the lemon will destroy anything that was not destroyed.
Mm.
The lemon and the water, hot warm water, will flush down this esophageal region and the whole digestive system, and anything that the body could not remember, release, recognize, resuscitate, all the R's. Like it releases the other R. Right? It releases, right?
So I do drink lemon water, but it's better to do it warm or hot.
I would say,
is that what you're saying?
In the morning,
in the first thing in the morning. Okay.
So what happens to us in the morning? We feel this, right? We got to clear our throat. Why? Mucus is coming up. Why? It's all a part of the mucosa. Is a part of the yummy, right? It's just when it overrides that it's not yummy. But mucosa helps things, like protects things, coats it. It's like, what's that? Oh, bring it down with the mucus. It does the right thing, right? My mother had this thing called, I think it's called asphyxia. And it's the deterioration of the esophagus.
Mm.
It's a surgery that they do now. The last 15 years, it's been amazing. So she had to have it done. It's an erratic esophagus. The esophagus is a muscle, but it's not like a bicep. So it can't, once it's out of whack, it can't be restored. So how do we keep this strong? We chew our food. We don't eat a lot. It's the most holistic. This is our holistic tube reminder that if we, you ever like eat so much and then you drink so much to bring what you ate so much down? Yeah. How many times, right? That's what we're not supposed to do. It's the most, and our foods are supposed to be, if they're going to be cooked, they're supposed to be tender. If the meat is the meat, it's tender, which means it's raised differently because it doesn't have all these processes in it that makes it a little bit tougher than it's ever been. And we don't need a half a steak or a half of whatever that people, and I'm bringing up meat because there are a lot of meat eaters, and that's fine. But where are you getting it from? How's it made so that your body can recognize it and digest it? It can heal itself. And sometimes it's like, maybe if you're not vegetarian or vegan or doing the thing, maybe 4 times a year, you just say, I'm going to detox. And I'm just going to eat differently for this weekend or this week or this moment, and allow your body to catch up with itself. But I say your first meal after that hot water and lemon or whatever that is should be about between 10 and 12, and it should be raw. It should be, first start with a fruit salad or something, because your body's going to need the sugars and they need the fiber. And then you can bring your greens or your soups and your stews, but your biggest meal is that moment in the afternoon, because you're going to burn that off. It's going to be gone, And then supplement is the supper. And that's why it's called supper. And that's before 6. We have to be aware. Right, Heidi? Are you aware? She put that book right up there. Thank you for that.
I'm going to do it again.
Are you aware? Are you aware? Heidi, can you show the back cover as well?
Yes.
And this is the beauty of, this is for all of us everywhere. The front cover is like me. It's me and my granddaughter, surrounded in the circle. But the back cover is women and mothers everywhere. Just sharing, awareness and sharing our ways, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you for going deeper with me. Audience, I want to say, viewers, listeners, people who are just checking us out, we did a lot of traction today. We covered a lot. And that's what happens when you get in the soil. I used to be a little girl, look at my fingernails and my hands, say, why am I so dirty? I was like, what's happening? Because you was playing in the soil all day, but you didn't realize it. And it was different. It wasn't like this dust that we have. It was soil.
Yeah.
It was packed. It was rich. You could do that and get it off you, or if it was muddy, it stayed on, you had to wash. But usually it's just packed rich soil that was just like.
On that note, we have to get one more PSA in. So we'll be right back with Gillian Bell, everybody. Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Coming up on the next episode of I Love Wine and Dogs.
Big wineries that are making a lot of wine want to make a consistent product. It's a bad analogy, but fast food. You want a McDonald's hamburger to taste the same in New York as it does in California. With the types of wines that we make, they're different every year.
Like, share, and subscribe on Facebook and Instagram at I Love Wine and Dogs.
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast. Please go back and listen to season 1. Get caught up with where we are. It's on Spotify. You can find us online. I Love Wine and Dogs, all lowercase, all together. But for today, in this episode of season 2, episode number 2, we're with Miss Gillian Bell. And Heidi, take it away.
All right. So welcome back, everybody. Man, oh man, this has been such good conversation, and I am pumped. I'm pumped with this good stuff. And we're going to talk to her offline. She's now in my circle of friends, friends for life. But what do you do, Gillian, to release mentally, physically, that makes you happy? Because work is work. Mm-hmm. What do you do just to be like, here's my time for me?
I really like to be around people I love and have really good food. And really good wine, and really clean water, because even that is all that stuff that matters to me, What do I like to do? I like to dance. I like to put on music while I'm cleaning or cooking or just being with my family and dance, and just put on old music that I used to dance to when I used to go out. And then put on music that I listened to when I was coming up with my parents. It brings joy to my heart.
I love it. Well, listen, if I had a magic wand and I could give you a couple wishes, what would that be?
Oh, let's build.
What would you use that wand on?
Aramenta, building Aramenta. I would use that wand on making that happen, on seeing that we are cultivating a home sanctuary, not a big space, but a space for no more than 12 people to ideate, to heal, to exchange food, culture, grow food, replenish so they can go back and do the work. And then we have another group, and then another group. And we just keep making sure we're okay. I would use that magic wand to make Aramenta happen. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to put it out there for you. And I can't wait to talk more offline with you. Because, of course, my little networking brain is thinking, who do I know and who can we? And because, like we always say, nothing happens by accident. You are supposed to be on our show today. I am grateful for you being our guest. And I really do feel my life is going to be so much more enriched, and what I'm going to learn from you, what I can then share with others. And that is what makes me happy and makes this little mind and heart beat. So thank you.
Yes, woman. You're a woman from my own heart. Family.